You're just gonna be there, aren't you? Okay. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. Tiger has also joined us once again. In this video I'm going to be doing my October's first impressions a month later. But this video will make more sense if you first watch my full face of first impressions from October, which I will put a card up here for that video. Every month I kind of re-go through all the products that I use in my first impressions and just give you any updated thoughts. I'm also going to kind of like rank them, so I used 9 products in total in my first impressions, so I'm going to be just ranking them from like, so I'll go from 9 as in like my least favourite product to 1 as in my favourite product. This obviously isn't completely foolproof. Just because some of it's kind of ranked near the bottom doesn't mean it's like a bad product. It just means that I like the other products slightly more, or I reach for them more. But anyway, I'm going to get straight into this and just give you my thoughts on all of the products after using them all a bit more. So at number 9, I've gone with the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Pressed Finishing Powder, which costs £28. And that is what it looks like here, and you will be able to see that I have definitely been using it because I've hit the pan on it. Now, when I used this in my first impressions, I was not mad about it. I felt like no product was coming off it. I felt like my face was not mattified. I was confused. I definitely can confirm that the more you use it, it definitely gets better, and it actually starts to work as a powder, like it actually does mattify you. So it definitely does work. I just think if you get this and like the first few times you're using it, you're like, what the hell's this? What's the point of this powder? Just keep digging into the pan a bit more. You will get to the good stuff. That being said, I still rank it at the bottom just because, first of all, it's £28. That is expensive, and this has got a few good things going for it, but in my opinion, not enough to equate that price. And I do think that there are drugstore powders that do similar, if not better, job than this one. One thing that I would say that I like about this is that it doesn't distort the colouring of your like base products underneath like a lot of translucent powders can do. So I feel like this could potentially work on a lot of different skin tones because of that, so it's not going to give you like a load of white all over your face, if you know what I mean. So that's one thing I would say in favour of this powder. It does work quite well at mattifying once you go through that first layer. I mean, some people might find that off-putting. If I'm honest, I found that a bit off-putting, that like it's not instantly going to work. You have to kind of use it like a few more times before you can actually get it to work properly. But it definitely does mattify your face. It sets everything down. It doesn't distort the colouring, which I really like. However, I wouldn't say that the finish is particularly flawless. I wouldn't really say that there's anything amazing about the way it makes your skin look. Just a fairly average powder in my opinion. And if I'm going to be paying £28 for a powder, I don't want it to be average. I want it to be like good. To give me a nice flawless finish, you know. So I don't think that this is like a terrible product. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth the money. I've only really tried like one other high-end powder, and that was the MAC one. And unfortunately, the colour of that is a little bit dark for me, but I actually feel like the formula of that powder is really good. And like, I don't know if it's worth the money, but like I can understand why it's that price based on the quality of it, if you get what I mean. I don't really feel that way about this Tarte one. So in my opinion, I wouldn't really recommend picking this up. I think that you can get some like drugstore powders that are better than this. And if you want to pick up a high-end powder, I would avoid this one. Maybe go to MAC. I still want to try the MAC powder foundation. I haven't tried that. I really want to. So just to say, I have got all of these products on my face, every single one of them today. Obviously I've got some eyeshadow on, and I didn't use any eyeshadow in the first impressions, but everything else is all this makeup. Right, so at number 9, I've gone with the L'Oreal Chocolate Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bittersweet 854, which is this one here. And as I've said, I have got this one on my lips right now. This has got a lot of good things going for it. So I'll say what I like about it first. First of all, the colour is absolutely gorgeous. I love like this cool tone brown. It's just totally up my street. It applies really well, you know, it's very pigmented. It doesn't look like really dry and flaky on the lips. It also actually lasts like pretty well, because obviously I put this on a few hours ago and then I ate some food, and it only really came off in like the inner rim of my lip. It didn't like come off anywhere else, which I don't find often with liquid lipstick, so it actually does last quite well like with eating and drinking. The reason why I rank this so low is just because I don't really like how it feels on my lips. It feels quite heavy. and it just feels quite sticky as well. Like, it just doesn't feel very like nice. It just feels like heavy, and I don't like that feeling, if I'm honest, which is a shame because I actually like love how it looks. Like, I think it's a gorgeous colour, and I can't get over the smell of it because it smells like brownies and it's amazing. So it's definitely not a bad product. If you don't mind like kind of feeling a liquid lip on you, I know some people don't really care about that too much. I mean, like, it does last well. It's not even that it's like dry or anything. I wouldn't say that it's a dry formula. It's more so the opposite in that it's quite sticky and heavy. I think some people might prefer that over something that is a bit more dry, but I mean, I personally like things that just feel a little bit more lightweight. But I could see a lot of people getting along with this, so I definitely don't think it's a bad product at all. That's just my kind of issues with it and why I would put it low compared to some of the other products. So at number 7, I've gone with the B full stop, which is Superdrug's brand, the matte bronzer in the shade Light, which looks like this. That is the colour there. Again, I'll start off by saying what I like about this. I actually think that the formula of this is very good. It doesn't come out like too harsh on your face. It's like quite buildable, and it also blends like really nicely. I think the formula of this bronzer is actually like pretty spot on, if I'm honest. The only reason I put it so low is just because I feel like the shade doesn't work perfectly for me. Obviously, like, if this is the kind of shade you like, then this is basically a foolproof bronzer. But I just have to put it low just because it's a bit too reddish for me. Like, it's just slightly darker than what I want. I personally want something ever so slightly darker. Like, it's almost there, and that's what's annoying. Like, it's just so close. That said, I still have picked it up a lot. Like, I feel like if I blend it, it's absolutely fine. Like, obviously I've got it on today and, you know, it looks fine. There's not really anything wrong with it, if I'm honest. Like, I would still use it, and I have been using it. It's just, you know, if I'm going to be hypercritical and find something wrong with it, it's not the perfect shade for me. If you've got maybe slightly darker skin than mine, but you're still, you know, quite light, I think this could be like a perfect bronzer, if I'm honest. Like, I can't really fault the formula of it. I think it's a great formula, blends really well. So this is actually a pretty good product, if I'm honest. It's just the shade is the only issue I have with it. Number 6, I've gone with, also from B, Superdrug's brand, the Pro Styler Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown, which looks like this. It's got a spoolie on one end, and then this is one of the more kind of angular eyebrow pencils. I personally prefer micro brow pencils. Now, I actually think that this is quite a decent brow pencil. As I said, I have got this one on my brows today, and I actually think it works like really well. My only issue with this is, for me, my brow routine is that I'll use a tinted brow gel, and then I'll brush through my brows with that, and then I'll get a pencil to like just kind of go in any areas where there's sparseness, mostly like kind of the arch. I'll define that a bit more. I don't find that that works very well with this pencil. I feel like micro brow pencils work a lot better for that, but when I just use this kind of like on its own, so like I'll use this, like I'll go through like with a clear gel just to kind of brush them through, and then I'll apply the pencil. When I do it that way, I think it's a really good brow pencil. Like, it works. Like, that's what I've done today, and then I set them with a little bit of tinted brow gel. So I think if I'm going to do it that way, it's definitely good. Like, I'll look at my brows afterwards and think, yep, it's a good brow day. It's definitely like a decent eyebrow pencil. It's just, if I'm going to do it the way that I do on a more regular basis, to like kind of just add a little bit more definition, I just find that it didn't really work very well for that, because I feel like I need something a bit more precise to do that, and this one's like a bit more kind of bulky, like the shape of it. But I think it kind of really depends on how you do your brows. If you're the kind of person that you're predominantly using the pencil to do your brows, and I think this is a good product. However, if you're just kind of using it for a little bit of a touch-up, I don't think this is the best thing for that. Considering it's $4.99, I've just realised now that that's $4.99. Good price. So I do think a lot of people would like this brow pencil. That is just my little issue with it. So moving on to number 5, I've actually gone with the foundation. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. Mine's in the shade Fair Sand, which is the lightest warm tone shade. The shade is actually spot on. I really like the shade of this. This is a nice foundation. I think it looks really nice on the skin. However, I think it's £33. Do I think it's worth that money? Not really. It's described as full coverage. It's not full coverage. I just feel like I was expecting a lot more from this. Like, I was expecting, you know, more of a wow effect from this foundation, and like, it's definitely not a bad looking foundation. Like, I think it's nice. I've worn it quite a lot throughout the month. Like, it's the sort of thing that I'd reach for like on a regular basis. It's just doesn't give you full coverage, you know, and if you're going to describe it as full coverage, then you probably should be either at least a high medium, which I don't think this is a high medium. I'd say it's more kind of low to mid medium coverage. I feel like it was a little bit underwhelming when I used it, but I still don't think it's a bad product. I just don't really think it's worth £33. Again, I feel like there's a lot of drugstore options that are like better coverage. I have more of a wow effect on the skin, if I'm honest, but I mean, like, I've got it on today, it looks fine, like, it looks like a decent foundation. It's just, I just expected a bit more, and that's why I've ranked it kind of towards the bottom. Actually, it's not in the bottom, it's more kind of smack bang in the middle, really. But in terms of wear, again, I'd say it's fairly average. At this point in the video, I will insert you a clip of me wearing this foundation after a long day, so I can just show you how it actually looks. So handing over to you now, future me. Hello, apologies for the fact I look bloody awful, but this is what happens, you know, when I've had a long day, and my eyes have been super irritated, which is why my eyeliner and mascara is just like smudged all over the place. But anyway, let's talk about this foundation. So I've worn the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I've also worn the Creaseless Concealer as well. I put it on probably about 2 PM, and it's now just gone 10:30, so I've had it on for about 8.5 hours-ish, so quite a long time. If I'm being honest, actually, I think this one does wear a bit better than the last two that I used, which was the IT Cosmetics and the Maybelline Dream Setting. I feel like my skin looks better compared to those ones, so I gave those like a 6.5 out of 10. I think I'd give this foundation a 7, actually. Like, it's definitely held up a lot better, but I mean, it still don't look great. I mean, obviously, it's completely come off my nose. This happens with all foundations. Also, breaking down on my chin, but I think I may have just been touching my chin or something. Basically, anywhere where I touch, it just breaks down. And I don't blame foundations for that. I blame myself. But I feel like in a lot of the areas of my face, actually, it doesn't look too bad. Like, my forehead is not... I mean, it's definitely sunken into the pores a bit, but like... Oh, crap. Whoops. Like, it's definitely sunken into the pores a bit and gone textured, but like actually not as bad as I thought it would. Like, I feel like I haven't really been examining it too closely when I've been wearing it throughout the month, so obviously it's just kind of today that I'm like hyper focusing on it, but I feel like it actually doesn't look... I mean, you can definitely see some, like, just in this bit here in particular, where it's kind of, you know, it's got a bit weird, the texture, but like, to be fair, there are a lot of foundations that like it looks way worse in this area, so that's actually not too bad. And these parts of my cheeks, not too bad. I feel like the closer you get to my nose, it's kind of, you can see like where it's breaking down and kind of like, it's like gone all weird, like the way it's kind of clung to my face. Don't know what that's about. But honestly, it's actually not too bad. Like, it kind of wore a bit better than I thought it would. It's still not the best wearing foundation I've ever tried. I still think like the NYX, the Max Factor, the W7 ones are a bit better wear than this, in my opinion, but I still feel like this is actually pretty decent. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for wear, in my opinion. Honestly, not too bad. You can see it has broken down a bit. It doesn't look like amazing, but like, it's definitely not terrible. So that's my thoughts on the wear. Back to the rest of the video. Moving on to number 4, I've gone with the highlighter. This is the Lottie London Shimmer Squad in the shade Holographic Haul, which comes like this. That's the shades. First of all, I love the shades. They're very up my street sort of colours. Very good for kind of like pale skin tones, I think. It's a very pigmented highlighter. Like, it is a pretty decent formula. I mean, like, there you go. You can see they're pigmented, definitely. Again, I got this on my cheeks today. I did notice that this did kind of start to fade after a few hours. Like, it just, I don't think this is the sort of thing that's gonna stay in your face all day like other highlighters that I own, but I still think it's absolutely stunning. It looks amazing. It's gorgeous. I love the colours. If you want something that's gonna stay on your face all day, I mean, I definitely feel like I have highlighters that do that, and this, I don't necessarily think that this is one of them. But it is still beautiful. It is very pigmented. Is it my favourite highlighter product ever? No, but I do like it, and I think a lot of people would like it as well. Not really much more I can say on that one. Number 3, I've gone with the eyeliner pencil. This is from Lottie London. It's the AM to PM Kohl eyeliner in the shade Black, and this one is just a pencil that you sharpen. Didn't have any issues with sharpening it, so that's good. I just feel the same way about this as I did in my first impressions. It glides on really nicely, very creamy, very pigmented. Again, I got it on my waterlines today. It does fade a little bit, like it doesn't look perfect or after a long day, but it lasts reasonably well. It doesn't like completely come off or everything. It doesn't smudge all over your eyes. Nothing really bad I could say about it other than, yeah, I found some slightly longer lasting eyeliner pencils than this, but I mean, it's still the sort of thing that I'd reach for on a regular basis. It does exactly what I want it to do, just gives me the drama and intensity that I want in my waterlines. I do think this is a very good product, and £3.95. Good price. The runner-up goes to the Maybelline Colossal Go Extreme Volume Mascara in Black, which is this one here. I've got it on my lashes today. I think this is a really good mascara. It definitely gives you a lot of volume, a lot of intensity. I will just insert you a before and after clip of me using this mascara while I'm talking, just so you can see the effect that it has on the lashes. I rate this mascara pretty highly. I think it does a pretty good job. It's definitely suited to my preferences, which is like thickness and volume is what I look for mainly, and I definitely think this has this. I have found mascaras that I like slightly better. The L'Oreal Unlimited is like my favourite at the moment. I think that one has a little bit more of an extra kick to it. I've also really liked the Gosh one that I used in my first impressions this month quite a lot. But I do think that is still up there with them. You know, it's a really good mascara for £6.99. Pretty good price as well. I definitely would recommend this. I think a lot of people would like this. I personally really like it. It does exactly what I want it to do. The only bad thing I could say is that the Unlimited by L'Oreal just gives it a tiny bit more. Just a tiny bit though. So the number one product, the favourite thing that I tried for my last month's first impressions, is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. Mine is in the shade Porcelain Sand. That is what it looks like there. And that was £23, so yes, definitely pricey. Tarte just obviously knows how to do concealers. I've tried this Shape Tape before, and like that was probably my favourite concealer. So they just know what they're doing when it comes to concealers, in my opinion. I tried this and I was not disappointed. I'd put it up there with the Shape Tape. I think they're like, you know, pretty similar in quality, if I'm honest. Colour's pretty good to me, just like a pale yellow tone shade, which is what I want and need. It's just like got amazing coverage, that's the thing. And that's all I really want in a concealer, is for it to just give me some banging coverage, you know, and to sit nicely on the skin, to look quite smooth, to blend out pretty easily, and it does that. It just does everything that I want it to. This is the type of thing that like I could use on its own. Like if I didn't want to wear foundation, I could just smother a load of this over my face and get the coverage that I wanted. It's just a lovely concealer. I just really like how it looks on the skin. It is a more dewy finish. Like it looks like a tiny bit oily, but like I don't really mind that with concealers because I always just set them anyway. As for it being creaseless, I mean, I don't think any concealer is creaseless, like especially on me. I've got very creasy under eyes, like nothing would be creaseless on me. That's just impossible. So I don't really agree with like the name of it being creaseless, but I still think that it's a top-notch concealer, and that's why I put it right at the top. It's a bit expensive, you know, but I kind of think it's worth it. It is really good. I do really like it. And obviously I've reached for this a hell of a lot throughout the month. I just really like it. I do prefer the wands to the Shape Tape. This is more kind of like a standard dofer. I really like the kind of big ones. Like the Gosh one has it, the Makeup Revolution one has it, the Nabla one that I've tried recently has it, and the Shape Tape obviously has it. I just feel like I've kind of gotten used to those big ones that when I don't have them, I feel a little bit disappointed. But that's not an issue. It's not really a big deal though. So that's just my updated thoughts on the products that I used in October's first impressions. Just, you know, after using them a bit more, I feel like most of my opinions have stayed relatively similar to what I felt in my first impressions. I do feel like pretty much everything here I feel like has a lot of good things going for it. I wouldn't say there's any straight up bad products that I used this month. Well, last month technically. But for October, that is it. And that's it for this video. So don't know if this is interesting at all, but I've done it anyway. So I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.